My hands and feet suck, and I don't know why. Have you ever trained them? No. That's why. Our hands and feet are the most important tools we possess, the ones we use to directly navigate and interact with the world. And yet, when it comes to bodily maintenance, the hands and feet are the overlooked middle child of fitness. Even athletes take their hands and feet for granted until they have an injury. Everyone else simply waits until plantar fasciitis, carpal tunnel, or some other chronic condition suddenly appears and finally forces them to pay attention. I put suddenly in air quotes because there's nothing sudden about it. The hands and feet typically endure years or even decades of abuse before these conditions advance to the point of chronic pain. The good news is that reversing the effects of all this chronic neglect can begin anytime and with relatively small amounts of consistent effort. Today we're going to look at one of my favorite loaded stretch pairings for the hands and feet that can be performed in just a few minutes, and that's closed chain forearm mobility and the Seiza sit. Now, quick disclaimer, performing these movements requires getting on the ground. If you have trouble going to the ground because of hip, knee, or back pain, you need to fix that first before trying these, okay? All right, let's get started. First, you'll want some padding for your knees and wrists. Next, get into a tabletop position with your knees on the ground and your whole body firmly clenched. We'll start with closed chain mobility for the top of the hand by turning one hand over like this and placing the top of the wrist into the ground. From there, clench your arm tightly, press the back of the hand into the floor, and begin slowly straightening the arm. As you straighten, you should start to feel an intense stretch building from the top of your hand and spreading up the forearm. Make sure it's not too intense though. If you're wincing from the stretch, bend the arm until you can find the Goldilocks zone of the stretch. Not too much, not too little. From there, begin slowly opening and closing the hand. Do this for about 10 to 15 seconds. Gently exit the position, shake your hand off, and do the same thing on the other side. Once both hands are done, place them back in a neutral position and transition into the Seiza sit in plantar flexion, meaning with the tops of the feet flat against the ground. Make sure the feet are also actively pushing into the ground to support and stabilize against the stretch you're about to do. From there, begin slowly walking your hands backward as you place more and more body weight onto the feet. Once you feel a moderate stretch on the top of the feet, like you did with your wrists, stop there and double down on pushing the feet into the floor, and simply hold the position as an isometric for a few seconds. Then back off a little, re-engage, and try to push a bit further into the position before holding again. Repeat this 3 or 4 times. After that's done, come back to tabletop and perform closed chain mobility for the bottom of the hand by turning one side over like this and slowly loading forward into the fingertips. Again, we're only looking for a moderate stretch under load. If your face is pinching up, you're taking it too far. Like the Seiza, back off every few seconds, re-engage, and try to push the form a bit further. Do this 3 or 4 times, shake off, switch hands, and once both hands are done, place them back on the ground, and now transition back to Seiza sit, but this time in dorsiflexion to put a loaded stretch through the plantar fascia or the bottoms of your feet. Begin loading backwards onto the feet until you feel moderate stretch just like the other positions. Hold in isometric for a few seconds, back off, and go again while pushing slightly further into the position. Repeat this 3 or 4 times. For more on the Seiza sit and how to develop it, here's your Seiza sit video. And if you want a deeper dive on closed chain hand and wrist mobility, boom! There you have it, a quick 1-2 punch for some of the most common conditions affecting our poor hands and feet. Start taking care of them, finally, and when they start immediately working better, drop a comment to say thank you. It warms this coach's heart like you wouldn't believe. And while you're at it, leave a like and consider subscribing. It helps the channel and tilts your algorithm towards real, authentic, human-made content and away from AI slop. Aren't you tired of that shit? We'll see you next time.